The Super Nintendo Entertainment System, one of the greatest consoles of all time. It holds a soft spot in my heart as it was the first video game console I was able to purchase with my own money. It sold nearly 50 million units worldwide and gave us some of the most legendary games in history. But more importantly, a good majority of these games still hold up, and art style and gameplay are still being replicated to this day. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Jason the Overwhelmed Gamer, and today we're counting down my top 5 Super Nintendo games of all time. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. We discuss all things retro and homebrew gaming here, so if you're into that kind of thing, maybe think about doing all the fun YouTube stuff. Let's count down my 5 favorite Super Nintendo games of all time. Kicking off our list at number 5 is Star Fox. Released in 1993, this game blew everybody's mind with its 3D polygonal graphics powered by that Super FX chip. I remember seeing this one for the first time and being in awe of just how cool those polygons looked. Back then, I used to be really drawn in by graphics and new technology that was being put out there, so when I first saw this, I was hooked immediately. What was great about this one, though, was although the graphics looked good and it was a kind of a technological marvel at the time, the gameplay was actually super fun as well. The cast of characters were great, and having to use these different strategies to find different paths and the challenging bosses were also a super fun addition to the gameplay. Star Fox for me is definitely a must-play if you're a Super Nintendo fan. At number 4, we have Donkey Kong Country. This game hit shelves in 1994, and again, it was another graphical marvel for the time. Its pre-rendered 3D graphics set new standard for visuals on the SNES. But like Star Fox, this one wasn't just a pretty face. The game had some of the best music, the platforming and level design were super solid, plus it introduced us to Diddy Kong and revitalized the Donkey Kong franchise in a big way. Another must-play for the SNES. Coming in at number 3 is Super Mario World. I remember playing this game for the first time. This game took everything great about the Mario series and really perfected it. It's also amazing that a launch title is still talked about so fondly to this day. The introduction of Yoshi, hidden secrets, and incredible level design made it an instant classic. Whether you were flying through the sky with a cape feather or navigating ghost houses, Super Mario World was a masterpiece of a game. The design remains one of the best Mario games ever. Taking the number 2 spot is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This game defined action-adventure gaming with its atmospheric world, tight controls, and innovative dungeon design. The introduction of the Dark World mechanic added a whole new level of depth, making it one of the greatest Zelda games of all time. From its epic storytelling to its unforgettable soundtrack, this game, it's just an absolute gem. And at number 1, we have Final Fantasy II, or as it's known in Japan, Final Fantasy IV. This game was what truly brought me into the Super Nintendo. I loved so much about this game. People can argue that Final Fantasy III was actually a better game, but I have so much nostalgia for this one. It was a game that truly brought storytelling and gaming to the next level. And I remember it was one of the first games that actually brought out emotion in me while I was playing. With its deep emotional plot, memorable characters like Cecil and Kain, and an incredible soundtrack, it set the standard for RPGs to come and really started my love for the RPG genre. The active time battle system added a new layer of strategy, making every battle feel dynamic. To this day, it remains one of the most beloved RPGs of all time. So there you have it. That's my top SNES games of all time. I just don't think you can go wrong with the Super Nintendo's library. Let me know in the comments what your top 5 SNES games were. Did I miss anything? Is my list a total disaster? If you want to see more Super Nintendo content, you can take a look at a game review here. And as always, thank you so much for checking out the video. Do all the YouTube stuff for me if you don't mind. Until next time, late.